Today, we're diving into a single, simple word that can cause a whole world of confusion. We're talking about the Japanese word hi, and why thinking it just means yes can lead you down a very wrong path. So, picture this. You're in Tokyo, you're in the middle of a huge business negotiation. This is the kind of deal that could literally define your entire career. The pressure is on. You've just laid out your final proposal. You've put all your cards on the table. And across from you, your Japanese counterparts are nodding, saying, hi, hi. So, is that it? Is it time to pop the champagne? Did you just close the deal of a lifetime? Well, if you think that's a done deal, you might be in for a surprise. Because the reality is often completely different. There's a huge misunderstanding hiding just under the surface of that simple word. So, what is actually going on here? Let's get right into what hi really means. And here's the key. Think of it as a signal, not necessarily an agreement. You see, in a lot of situations, hi isn't really an answer at all. It's more like an acknowledgement. It's the other person's way of saying, okay, I hear you, or I'm following what you're saying, keep going. It's basically a conversational green light, not a yes to your proposal. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just crystal clear. The English yes is all about agreement. It confirms a fact. But hi is about confirming the connection. It's a signal of active listening. One is about content. The other is about contact. They just aren't the same thing. Now, this isn't just some random language quirk. It actually goes way deeper. It's rooted in a fundamental clash of cultural values that shapes how people talk to each other. In a lot of English-speaking cultures, the number one goal of communication is clarity. Be direct. Be clear. A no is just a no. It's efficient. But in Japanese culture, the primary goal is often maintaining social harmony and respect. The focus is on keeping the relationship smooth and positive, and that means avoiding anything that feels like direct conflict. And because of that focus on harmony, a blunt, direct no can feel really jarring. It's not just data. It can come across as uncomfortable, maybe even a little aggressive. It just kind of disrupts the smooth flow of the interaction. So instead of that direct no, you're much more likely to hear something a bit more vague, something like, I will consider it. Now, to a Western ear, that sounds pretty hopeful, right? Like you've still got a shot. But often, it's just a very polite way to disagree without creating any friction. And this is where we get to the biggest pitfall of all, the absolute danger of trying to do a literal word-for-word translation. It's a one-way ticket to frustration. Here's the trap. It's assuming that yes and hi are perfect equals, and that no has a simple, direct counterpart too. When you make that assumption, that's where everything starts to fall apart. And the result is almost always the same. Frustration on both sides. The Western business person feels like they were lied to or misled, while their Japanese counterpart might feel like the foreigner was being way too pushy or just couldn't read the room. And look, this is not a small thing. When you get this wrong, you're not just missing understanding a word, you're missing the chance for a real connection. It's about learning to see past the literal words to understand what's really being said. Okay, so this all sounds complicated, but how do we actually fix it? How can we bridge this communication gap? Let's get into some practical steps. All right, the advice really depends on which shoes you're in. If you're a Japanese speaker visiting an English-speaking country, the key is to get comfortable with being more direct. A clear yes or no is expected. On the flip side, if you're an international visitor in Japan, your job is to slow down, take a breath, and really start paying attention to the subtle, unspoken cues. So, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. First, hi means I'm listening, much more often than it means I agree. Second, remember the core value, clarity in the West, harmony in Japan. Third, do not, under any circumstances, just literally translate. And finally, you've got to adopt. Be direct when you need to be and be a good observer when the situation calls for it. You know, thinking about all this really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a word as basic as yes can hold so much hidden meaning and cultural weight, what other powerful secrets are hiding in the simple, everyday words we think we know so well?